Alright, I got a request from YouTube user Excursion Sounds to do an update video on this thing. I haven't done one in a while just because, I mean, I've done like 2 or something on this thing, and every time I do it changes. I usually upgrade something in it or decide to do something a little better, a little different. I mean, such is the nature with this SPL stuff. I mean, you try to do something one way and sometimes you got to do it differently, just, you know, because you want better numbers, you want a different you know, result, or you know, just installation. You got to do it differently. But I'll start from the front, from what I got going on, and, you know, go from there, I guess. So I went ahead and did the 2 Mechman Elite 370 alternators on there, and those are doing pretty well right now. I've got it just kind of janky under here. I want to get that all on aluminum and you know, all on one solid piece, and then send it back from there. So you can see I got the 4 positive runs of Sky High audio, 2-aught front to back. I've got, let's see, I got 3 runs of ground. 2 of them's 2-aught running front to back, and then I got another single 1-aught run running front to back. That all runs back underneath of the vehicle. You can see it, but it's all in a PVC pipe running back. And then it pops up down here. I got a bunch of wood on the back of here. I'll get to that here in a second, but all of it runs on back. And, comes back here to 3100 and jumps over. I mean, it jumps all kinds of different ways. This is another thing I want to get optimized, but I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I'm doing most of the stuff, I mean, pretty much all the stuff myself, and I mean, it's a lot of stuff. Every time you get something in, you either break something or you want to do it differently. But anyways, it's all on here, coming back and just jumping over and around. There's another 3100 down there. That's a 3400 on the top, so I got 2 3100s and a 3400, and then that all jumps over to 4 banks of Maxwell caps, 4 banks of 6, and then that all distributes out to wherever it goes. Power wise, running the 2 Sundown SEV 6000s, which I love them so far. They're phenomenal amps. I had an NS1 before this. I never ran it, you know, high voltage or dropped it below 1 ohm or anything, but so far these things, it seems like they're just so much more powerful than the NS1. I got some fans going on. This one just took a crap at Slamology. This was like a big squirrel cage fan. It took a crap after like a day and a half. This is all gonna get redone. I left Slamology, and where these screws are right here, installer error, I had brad nails running through that. I never put screws through it, and on the ride back, this whole face broke down and hit the ground down here, so these amps and everything lurched back and were beating against the back door all the way back from Indianapolis. You can see how bad the back door got it. I mean, it's dented to shit, but testament to Sundown audio. The only thing going on is right there. I mean, it didn't deform the heat sink at all or anything, so, and they still function flawlessly. So, but yeah, this is all going to get redone. I've got an idea in my mind of how I want to do it. All this wood, obviously, I've got going on here, a bunch of pieces of 2x4s. That's going to get thrown on the back. I'm going to stiffen this back wall here. Obviously, that's going to reduce my mounting depth, which is already pretty small for these dudes. And so I'm going to have to redesign this entire area back here to hopefully make that work. I don't know what I'm going to do with the batteries. The batteries are pretty much, there's a reason they're sideways as it is. Mids and highs, I got 2 Sachs 100.4s powering the mids, and an SA 50.4 powering the tweets in here. I was going to do a lot more tweets, but I got these Rockford Neo tweets in, and the SA 2.75s in the dash, and so far it's unbearably loud. These Neo tweets bounce up and hit that headliner, and I mean, it's ridiculously loud. It hurts. I mean, I've got them toned back on there too. You can see my crossover settings right there. I don't know if you can see the dots on there, but they are, the 6 kilohertz is below half, and that top one is almost all the way down. Still bright as shit. Anyways, doors, I fiberglass the doors. Jesus, this is gonna be a long ass update. That's why I don't do this. Fiberglass 2 6.5 Neo Pros, 2 8-inch Neo Pros in each door. It's my first set of door panels. I love how they came out. I've gotten a lot of compliments on them. So apparently other people do too. It was a task getting them in here. I mean, I did a whole bunch of mock-up before I even glassed them. And I don't know if I maybe mixed the hardener too much or something, but I don't know. After you get them done, it's like the doors are way bigger than what they started out to be. So it took a whole lot of like trimming and stuff to get them going, you know. Again, my first set, so whatever. I love them though. I sealed off the 6s from the 8s, so these guys have their own little compression chamber and stuff, and as you can see, it's a pretty large chamber. So if I take up the mid base on these dudes, I mean, it's pretty dang respectable. I mean, for something that's really, you know, not meant for that. I mean, it is an 8-inch Pro Audio driver, but I mean, it's not made for just straight up mid bass. These guys hammer some mid bass. They play pretty low. I mean, they can play probably to 20 hertz pretty effectively before they start sounding like crap. Go back here with it. Obviously, these are not the X's I set out to do. This is not the box I set out to do. I went ahead and got a different design from Ram. This is a 3-to-1 4th order bandpass. Slit section is like 12 inches, I think. Or, you know, it's 12 foot cubed. And then this is 36. The quarter section is 36 inch or feet cubed. And I mean, this thing plays a crazy bandwidth. I mean, it probably plays up to 50 pretty well, and down as low as, if my voltage could take it, I could probably play down to like, again, probably like 20 hertz pretty damn, with authority, you know. And that's pretty good for some, and these, obviously these 18s are, it's 418 ZV4s. They got the new baskets. I waited a couple weeks on those dudes. New baskets, Rev 2 motors, American coils, SPL cones, not the mega rolls because I'm not a fan. This needs rewired. That's another thing that's on my to-do list, is to get this stuff proper. I mean, it's functional and it sounds great, but it's not the way I want it. It is not optimal. I'm a wiring dude, and this shit drives me nuts every time I look back here. I don't even look back here half the time. It's driving me nuts. I need to get more wire. Funds are running low. You guys have no idea, once you get to this level, how expensive this shit is. I mean, I put in 1/6K and released the seal on the top of my window, and from it slapping back and forth, there's a bunch of videos on it. it shattered my windshield in about a week and a half. It rattled bolts out of the front of my motor behind my steering wheel pulley. These bolts right down there, I don't know if you can see it really, but they rattled forward and were touching the back of my pulley. So that was a thing I had to deal with. My friends really came through on for me one night, night before a competition. He pulled shit off of a motor of one of his other Tahoes and slapped it on mine, like, you're gonna make it to this competition. So it's a huge thanks to him. I mean, I don't know what else there is to talk about. I got the console. I did that. That was kind of like just a slap together thing. I just mocked it up with cardboard real quick and made it, and it turned out really great. I've gotten, again, a lot of more compliments than I thought I would on it. But from a design standpoint, like functional and stuff, it's terrible. I mean, to put that double dent in there, you can see what my double, that's a Pioneer 4700 that's maybe, I mean, use-wise, it's probably a month or two old. It's probably about 2 months old, I would say, 2-3 months. I was playing on it. I mean, full power, I only played on it for a couple weeks, and it just destroyed the face. It just shook the shit out of it until it released mechanisms inside of it, and I got video of it actually throwing the face off of it mid-demo, which is a pretty funny one, actually. So now I'm running, you know, just like a regular single dent. I'm going to pull that out and have it looking a little better. I just got back from Slamology about a week ago, and there's a slew of things that need done with this truck. I mean, everything from my tint is peeling up to my screen that runs my rear backup camera. It's not displaying anymore. It separated the RCA and one of the connections. I mean, the battery box situation, that thing is going to be a task. I'm going to have to completely pull everything out, but I've got a much better idea, I think, for how that's going to work and keep it all cool, fit it in there. I just don't know about the freaking gigantic 3100s. This box is just so big. I mean, didn't leave myself a lot of room to put stuff. So, yep, this is almost 15 minutes long. But I mean, that's about as much of an update as there is right now. I've still got a bunch of stuff I need done. The A-pillars, fixing all the crap that's went wrong. And, you know, obviously, I would like to get a 60 out of this thing. Numbers for people who are actually still watching at this point. I've gotten high 158s, you know, 158.7 I think it was or something, out of the kick panel. 157, maybe a half or so at the headrest. And yeah, I haven't done a windshield measurement yet. But that's in, you know, RAD-X and stuff. Park and pound, I was at this show, I came out the gates doing a 137. If I had stable voltage, because I mean, it just chews up the voltage. If I had stable voltage, I could probably get like a 136 park and pound out of this thing consistently. But I think I finished at like a 135 and 0.1 or something like that. That show, this last show, I just did a 131, which is significantly lower, but still higher than most guys who was out there. So it does some really respectable numbers. From a musical standpoint, I am absolutely thrilled to death with this system. Competitively, I need to get, I would like to get a 60 out of this thing. I would like to have, like I've told people, right now I've got a hard 58, you know, I've got to struggle and do everything I can to get the 58 out of it. I'd like to have an easy 60, and just be able to go up and do a 60 easily. Maybe a little higher if need be, but it's about a dB.5 rise that I'll need, so it's ambitious and at this point expensive, because when you get to this point, you run into what's called the law of diminishing returns, I think it is, or diminishing, yeah, it's diminishing returns, wherein, you know, the more money you throw at this stuff, you know, it's harder and harder to get from a 161 to a 162, you know, than it is to get from a 160 to a 161. So, you know, and so on and so forth. It's much more expensive. So, yep. Thanks for watching, whoever watched this whole thing. And I'll throw up more updates when they're actually worth throwing up. Peace.